and he 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 is um I guess you could say an idol of mine, really, because
Okay, cool.
I well, he's not that old, but a man that let me do this right. A man that started out at least 18 years old on WHIH, right
There you
here in
go.
Hampton
That's
Road.
it.
I had to do it right, let you know I could do it right.
You
But
got it right.
I'm talking as a fan right now. I used to listen to you
Okay,
all the
man.
time.
Thank you, Kenneth. Appreciate
And
that.
you're still a young man, and you look like a young man.
I
So
try to
how
do
are
that,
you?
man. LA, man, been good to me, Kenneth. LA been good
Yeah,
to me.
yes, you look good. Look good.
Thank you. You look good
Um,
too, man. You look good
well, you
too.
know how that is. Let me stop. Congratulations on being honored and recognized at the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, that's co-founded by Dr. Phil Nelson, Dr. Glenda P. Maury Kelly. But now let's
That's
talk
it.
about Calvin Van A.K. Wait a minute. Let me do it right. Calvin Van P.
Hey,
A.K.A. Calvin
Shay.
Shakespeare. Perfect.
Look, Kenneth, man, it's an honor to be on your show. I talked to Glenda about you. She said you'd be reaching out. Did a
Right.
great thing with Bill. So I know you're going down the line trying to chop it up with Chester B, me, all of us. And it's a pleasure to be on your show and to just reminisce, but certainly appreciate the honor of being recognized among my peers with the Hampton Roads Radio Association. Great stuff that Glenda's been doing just to help put together, and certainly Mr. Quiet Storm, Phil Nelson.
Yes. And it's just it's for me, it's like I'm in a candy store. I mean, every week it's yeah, and you know what I'm saying? I'm on the other end of the radio.
Okay,
And
okay.
I'm a musician. I'm a
Hmm.
church musician. Well, I'm a musician who's in radio, not a radio
Okay.
person who's in music. So I'm a fan first. But let's get to it. When did you know that you wanted to do this?
It's weird, man, because I'm gonna go back. I try to look youthful, but I'm a little older. I've been
Mhm.
around in the game for a minute. So when I thought about being in it, and I look back, this is a little memoir I'm writing called The Last MC, and it chronicles how I started and what made me begin to look into radio. And I
Mhm.
used to watch American Bandstand with my brothers,
Yes,
and they'd be dancing, and I'd be watching Dick Clark. I just
right.
be studying at the microphone, how he was doing. And I used to call myself, this is weird. My sister and them will tell you in Berkeley, from Berkeley campus, tell us where I'm
Hmm.
from. And I used to call myself the Black Dick Clark from Diggs Park.
Hmm.
Come
Hey,
on, Kenneth.
uh,
Bro. So, as you know, fast forward years later, I
right,
did had the blessing to have a TV show, a dance show
right.
called Dance to the Music. So that little
Hmm.
part of a dream did come true. But it started out watching Bandstand, and
Hmm.
it's so weird because I never saw Soul Train. Soul Train was not in Norfolk, Virginia when we were doing Dance to the Music. So when
Right.
we came out with our afros and the pop locking, and then later on seeing Don Cornelius and Soul Train, the connection was so cool. So
Hmm.
Norfolk, Virginia was up with Chicago with the
Right.
Soul Train gang. So I'm really proud of that.
Okay. And of course, Bandstand was one of the few places, Bandstand and Ed Sullivan,
Right.
where you would see an African American.
Hmm.
Hmm. See,
Yeah.
they broke that barrier. They didn't care. They were big enough to do it, and it was inspiring. So you went to Houston, and then you
Yeah.
came back, and you got into television, right?
That's exactly how it happened, Kenneth. That's that bio
Hmm.
right down the line. Hot Dog is so funny because another legend in the game is Frank House and Hot
Right.
King Hot Dog. Hot Dog went to Houston first. Then he called me and said, we could use you in Houston. And I was in between stations because they were changing the format at WHIH.
Hmm.
So to WPEC. So I went to Houston for a little while, chopped up with Hot Dog, did some stuff with the Isley Brothers, and in terms of MCing, had a
Hmm.
nice little short, not quite a year in Houston. came back. I actually heard of a brother being on TV in Houston. So I went to the public TV station, WHRO, to look into trying to do something. And Daisy Holmes, Jack Holmes' wife,
Oh yeah.
they asked her to do a show called The Gig. And she said, I'm too busy to do it, Calvin. If you want to host it, you can host it. And so that's what happened. I did The Gig.
Yeah, I knew Daisy Holmes. Yeah, I used to date her. Niece.
Yeah, she was a character, colorful.
Yes. But now, so that's how you got to PBS, right?
Right, exactly.
What was that like to work at PBS?
Well, it was cool because we're affiliated with the network, and we were able to win a Peabody Award.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened was that Jesse Jackson, and this is the whole thing was crazy because Jesse came to town in the 70s, and when he was in town for a couple of days, Ida Sands was promoting him around, and she called all the TV stations, and no one had a slot to interview Jesse Jackson. So I said, well, when is he in town? She said, he's in town today. I said, well, when do you guys want to do an interview? She said, today.
Okay.
So anyway, I called my mom, right? My mom was like, boy, she said, do your research. Don't be up there talking to Jesse Jackson and don't know what you're talking about. So I read up on Operation Push and everything. So it brings the PBS thing because when we submitted all those programs that year, the station won a Peabody Award for all of the programming. And I was a producer at that time. So I actually have a Peabody Award.
Okay. It's name dropping time now as MC.
Don't do it.
We usually get in trouble doing that. Here you go. No. I want to know. I mean, I know, but I want people to hear this list. So go ahead as an MC. The name dropping. Go ahead.
Well, it's crazy, man. I sent you some photos because I was really mixing it up with different people. Right. But the true funniest story of all is with Stevie Wonder coming to town, opening for the Rolling Stones. Okay. So this is a big thing at Norfolk Scope and Mick Jagger and them. So I call WNOR, Gene Loving, Dick Lamb. They had a production company, and they brought those big shows to town. So then we tried to reach them, and they didn't get back with us. So then we called the Golden Triangle, talked to Stevie Wonder. They said, no, Stevie's not staying here. Stevie Wonder was staying at the Holiday Inn Express. Really? So we called Stevie. We called Holiday Inn Express. They bring up Stevie's room. I talked to his manager. I said, man, we're black stations. We played Motown. We played Stevie. We played all Stevie, man. The writing book, all that, and we don't got no tickets to the show tonight with the Rolling Stones. He said, hold on, man. He said, let me let you talk to Stevie. Stevie comes on the phone. Stevie Wonder says, hey, what's up? I said, man, we ain't got no ticket. He said, y'all come and pick me up, and then y'all gonna roll to the show with me. So I'm driving a platinum Bonneville. Don't tell me nothing now. So I go to the Holiday Inn Express. There's a limo sent by Mick Jagger and the Stones for Stevie Wonder. But Stevie Wonder don't want to get in the limo. Stevie Wonder want to ride with me, Kenneth. He want to roll with me. So I said, okay. But then I open up. This is a crazy part because I love the story so much. I open the door for Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder gets into the road dog seat, the front seat. I come around to get the driver's side, and he reaches over and opens the door for me.
What?
The door go click, and I said, "Oh my!" So then I'm like, "Okay, I'm all right." So I get in the car, and we're going to the Scope. Shows there, the street is blocked, Brampton Avenue packed. Everybody trying to go see the Rolling Stones. Steve Wonder opening the show. So then I get out the lane, and I see all of these limos and the cars in another lane. So I get in that lane. And the police pull up on us and say, wait a minute, this is only for the artists. What's going on? I said, oh my God. And I said, hey man, I got Stevie Wonder with me. They tried to stop me. I had Stevie Wonder sitting in the front seat with me. And the only thing and then one of the black cops recognized me. He said, oh, that's Calvin Shakespeare. That's Stevie Wonder. So then they put the two sirens, motorcycles, and they took us to the Scope. To the VIP entrance. That's my story. That's my story. One last part is this. To get there, somebody taps me on my shoulder and says, I turn around and it's Mick Jagger. He says,
Wow.
man, you're the hero. You got Stevie to the show. I want to thank you. So Mick Jagger invites us to the party at the Holiday Inn, and
Oh
so
my.
that's name drop number one. The other things I've done with artists, I'll make it real quick and simple. Fun stuff with
Uh-huh.
I have pictures too. Rick James was my favorite artist.
Okay.
The Playboy Club with some bunnies clowning out. Ice Cube's movie
Mm-hmm.
Friday with that beautiful actress who played in the movie, and then a few things that I really like with Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely my girl that I really, really like, man, is Shantae Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's crazy about her because my story with her was that I did a special on my radio show of Shantae Moore and her greatest hits, but she actually went to church with us in Hope's house. So she was part of the congregation. So
Really?
my wife and I were always talking to her. So I told her I was going to do a show. I took her, and so that's a good thing with her. So that was kind of cool. And then I think the biggest thing, the last thing, and I'll post some pictures later on, and you can see everybody. But was Quincy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Thing with Quincy was that I had just did a hip hop musical at the Hollywood Palladium, and my name was up on the marquee.
Wow.
Stevie's people had saw it. I mean, Quincy Jones people saw it. So when I walked into this big thing at Warner Brothers, we were walking in together, and I was talking to Quincy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, I just did a play. I'm doing a hip hop thing. He said, oh man, that's you. So we was chopping up, talking, and the whole room froze watching me talk with Quincy.
Right.
And it was like an out of body experience, just talking to him about the stuff and Michael and remixing, Donna Summers and Shaka Khan and just chopping up with Quincy, man. I got to stop right there, and go on. But that's just the Hollywood thing. I got very
said you had to
lucky.
stop? I didn't say you had to stop. What are you talking
And
about?
you don't stop.
No.
But I like that though. Quincy was so cool though, Kenneth. He was really, really smooth to talk to. It meant a lot to me.
Was he still with Sinatra then?
No, he had just left Sinatra. Funny he would say that because he had did the arrangements for Sinatra and Count Basie, as you know.
Right.
And so and we talked about so much stuff, and they were trying to interrupt him to make him go to the next place, and he was saying no. He said, "Hold on," and he talked, and he respected me, and we had a nice conversation. Took a couple of photos together, and it made my life. I just can't tell you what went through me just chopping up with Quincy Jones.
One of those highest life. Did you ever meet someone that made you nervous? That it was blew your mind. It just overwhelmed you.
I got to stop on this one because I can't. What I'm going to say now is going to be unbelievable. Okay, so I met Michael Jackson 3 times.
Okay.
I met Michael when I emceed the show at the Andros Coliseum. They wrote about it in the Virginia Pilot. We were lucky enough to MC the Jackson 5, bring the Jackson 5 at the Hampton Roads, people screaming. I did my little rap and stuff. And the paper wrote an article about opening up for the Jackson 5 and getting the crowd going. So there's an article in the Virginia Pilot about me emceeing with the Jackson 5. So that's the first time I met Michael. He was little baby Janet was there, hit me on my knee, acting like a little girl. So that was the part so the story goes on. I met him again with Lonnie Ritchie, the middle Michael. Then the last time I saw him, he was beautiful, like a figurine. He was a black radio thing backstage. I went backstage and I saw that last Michael right before the nose got too small, right before some things happened, So that Michael experience took my breath away. But the last thing I want to say is that I was very much involved with the NAACP Image Awards out here in LA back in the day. So I was always getting invited to those things with MC Hammer. And so I met, this is the very end of it. I met a NCAA Image Awards in a tent. I'm backstage with all the celebrities, boys and men, everybody's there. I walk across the room. I can't believe my eyes. I see Oprah Winfrey and Stedman. The real Stedman standing next to Oprah. So I walk over, right? So I'm walking over really slow to her. and I go and I shake her hand, tell
Mm-hmm.
her I love the show, Oprah, but my seats. I shake his hand. He's so tall, brother. So that's thing that I don't have a picture of, but to this day that blows my mind to encounter Oprah. But I got to say one last thing. I mean it this time. I was lucky enough to be involved with the entertainment business, as you know, but
Mm-hmm.
I went to a couple of events, and one of them was in Palm Springs. And I have a
Okay.
picture of me. I have a picture of me and Wyclef and the Fugees, Pras and the
Mm-hmm.
Fugees, Lauryn
Cool.
Hill, but the Fugees. But guess who? You'll never guess who Wyclef introduced me to. And she was like
Who?
21 years old.
Who?
Beyonce. Beyonce.
Really?
He says,
Wow.
man, this is Beyonce. I'm doing a remix on their music. They're young, they're silly from Houston. And I
Mm-hmm.
just couldn't believe how goofy they were. I had no idea they would ever be anything
Right.
like they turned out to be. But
Things happen.
okay, I swear, this is the very last one. This is going to
Mm-hmm.
actually take your head off. I'm doing my hip hop musical, right? So I got 15
Mm-hmm.
minutes of fame in Hollywood. I'm at the Palladium. They got my name in lights and all that. I'm on BET talking about my musical, and you don't stop. So I'm at this big event, a black event, and in walks the Fly Girls.
The Fly
With
Girls. Oh.
the
Wow.
Fly Girls, and they
Mm-hmm.
and they say the Fly. They want to meet you. They want to meet you, be in your musical. So I took a picture. They were gathered all around me. I arranged all the girls around me. They all had pretty long wigs, right? And one of them had a very short haircut. I know who she was. I put her to the end. I grabbed her by the I arranged the girls around me. I'm in the middle with the picture. I'll send you the picture. I think I may have sent it to you. But guess who the girl was with the short hair?
Who?
Guess who it was? Jennifer Lopez.
No.
She had just joined the Fly Girls. She had just joined the Fly Girls, and she had a black hair, short hair. And I watched her blow, and you know she's the biggest star in the world. But can you imagine that moment in time where they were the Fly
I see
Girls?
we lost you for a minute.
Okay.
Hold on a second here. Let me do a couple of things. Okay, we got you back.
You back.
We got you back.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now,
But
now
yeah,
you was talking about Jennifer
that's the name dropping.
Lopez.
That's for me. That's my name dropping. That's it. Are we back?
Part of you back. I can hear you.
Okay.
You were saying about Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez. I was lucky enough to meet them when she was the Fly Girls, and I was able to take a picture with them. And I didn't know who she was. She's a brand new Fly Girl in living color, and that was a fun name drop thing for you to have a chance to play around with her like that. Yeah, changed my life. I'm back.
Okay. Your son. So you did some things with your son as well, didn't you?
Yeah, what we did is we had a thing back in the day, Kenneth, called Shakespeare and Son. And so we did those shows with the Jackson Five, and we did my last television show was Dance to the Music. I talked a little bit about that. And he was on that show, even though he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to have a lot of fun because the kids came from Tidewater Park, Youngs Park, Diggs Park, you know, Newport News, Hampton, Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
So Dance to the Music had a nice run on WHRO, PBS affiliate WHRO, and the show was seen all over the South. Atlanta,
Wow.
Houston. And so we had a lot of fun with that TV show. And those kids, man, they were just so precious. And they were ahead of time. And I even brought a choreographer in one time, Kenneth,
Mm-hmm.
because I was working on a song that I want to do a concept for Barry White. I Can't Believe
Mm-hmm.
I Love You, and heard that groove of that song. So I brought in a choreographer, and she actually taught those get down people how to waltz. So we actually stopped all the pop blocking and whatever, and we did a waltz on TV.
Wow.
It's all on tape. It's on YouTube too, Kenneth. It's on YouTube.
Now when you went to California, you changed your name.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I was going to be a producer, and so I said Calvin Van P. So I did a couple of albums. I produced a video show like Video Soul. I had show. These were all seen in San Diego. They weren't here, and I did my hip hop musical under that name.
Okay.
And so I just kind of had fun with it. I mean, nothing compares to the fun I had and the luckiness of being in Tidewater and being appreciated by Norfolk, Virginia, as Calvin Shakespeare Perkins. But when I came to Hollywood, I just thought I'd do that. And then for a number of years, I got out of the business completely, became a notary, raised my grandkids, just living a middle class life. But I stayed in entertainment with my radio shows called Classic Soul Music Radio. I played Whispers, Luther Vandross. These are all in the Calvin Van P. And I think I mentioned to you too, I got lucky when Chester B recreated something called Passion 1350, where he brought back the Hot Dog and the Soul Ranger. And I was able to be on that show by sending an MP3 tape in every Saturday. So I was on the radio every Saturday with Chester B.
Well,
That's
my man there. I do anything he needs. When I was at WPCE, if he needed newspapers delivered, I would just do it for him. And the Soul Ranger, he still hangs with him there. So you can go in there sometimes and see him just sitting around hanging. And when I was on PCE, in my mind, I'm saying, hello, how you doing? But in my mind, I'm going, it's Chester B and the Soul Ranger.
I know that feeling. Hey, look, hey, Kenneth, when I was on WHIH way back in the day, right, I did a midnight show. But Hot Dog, King Hot Dog, he came on at 6 a.m. And then sometimes he would be late, so I would still be on the radio for an hour or half an hour of his time. So I know that feeling when you got that superstar fun thing going on. And I was on, I was a new teenager at midnight, and I would sit in for the Hot Dog because he would come in a little bit late sometimes. But him and I were really, really tight, Kenneth.
Right.
Real tight, Ken.
Now when you first saw Janet Jackson, Janet Jackson, did you see anything then?
Well, I was Catherine was backstage, obviously. Catherine Jackson, Joe Jackson, everybody backstage with the Jackson 5. As a matter of fact, early Jackson 5 shows, the family would sit on stage. Catherine and Joe would be on stage watching Michael and them like a hawk. So when the show was over, the manager said, the boys want to meet you. And what? So my son and I, we had, because we used to have outfits made like Jimi Hendrix and Sly Stone. I used to dress like the rock stars. So we had these outfits. We looked like they liked our outfit. So we came backstage and when we talked to them, we saw the family. But I did see Janet again when I was, I don't know how this got, okay. I was lucky enough to have a little cable show in LA.
Right.
So I'm at the American Music Awards. Out comes, I'm going to tie it into Janet Jackson. All the limos pulling up. Out of the limo comes NWA, Kenneth.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Michelle A, they get out the limo. And so all these people are lined up. Entertainment Tonight, did Clock Productions. I'm on the red carpet. I put it on Facebook. I put it on HR2. So the video is available. You'll see the video. You'll know I'm not making this up. So I have one camera. I'm scanning everybody. I scan. So they walk out the limo. Everybody wants NWA, Easy, Dr. Dre. So guess what I said, Ken? I said, Compton Cable. I said, Compton Cable. And they walked past everybody and came and gathered around me. And I interviewed Michelle A. Then Dr. Dre comes in there and he says, hey, how are you? How are you? I interview him. I interview Eazy-E. And I make a joke about when Ice Cube had left NWA, the rumor was they were going to clean their act up, start cursing so much and go pop. So I asked Dr. Dre, it's all on the interview. It says, so you guys are going to clean it up a little bit and go pop? No, who told you that? Never, never, never. Niggas for life, whatever. I mean, that's how they talk. So, but the thing was, when I went into the media room, that's when I saw the all grown up Janet Jackson with the big hits. So that's how Janet Jackson ties into it by way of NWA.
Okay. Who would you have liked to meet, but you never got a chance to meet?
My God. Well, I got lucky with Marvin Gaye and certainly James
Mhm.
Brown. That was my first
Mhm.
show. So big
Yeah,
stars.
yeah.
Ozzy. I got lucky enough to mix it up with different actors.
Mhm.
Probably Selena Horn, something like that. People that are classic people.
Right.
Because I mean, I look at some breaks I made, but stumbling into Sarah Vaughan. I love Sarah Vaughan, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was walking with her, talking to her about some stuff, and just some of the stars, man, that that I did meet, and looking at the ones that that you didn't get a chance to, but admiring their work,
Right, right.
admiring their.
Yeah. So when you talk to these stars and you have that chance to interview them and they're all around,
Right.
uh, what's going on through your mind right there? Are you thinking fast? Or you just do it naturally, or are you going, all right, let's get it together?
Well,
What do you do?
I think what
Especially when you know you
my
can't
biggest
prepare for.
yeah, my biggest interview was with Jesse Jackson on TV, and
Mhm.
so I did a lot of research on Operation Push, and I remember how he was watching me and everything, and I remember we didn't have a green room, but we had a break room, and I
Right.
remember them telling me, going over what I was going to talk to Jesse about. He was a real cool rock star type of a civil rights leader. He was a young one. Kenneth Jesse Jackson. But the
Yeah.
point I'm making is that they were saying Coretta Scott King did not like the way Jesse was popular, and he was on the balcony when Dr. King got assassinated. And there's a
Hmm.
picture with Jesse Jackson leaning onto him, and some word was around in a civil rights community that Coretta was a little bit unhappy with Jesse trying to make a name for herself, being with King in the last day of his life, and just being a younger one with
Right.
I'm somebody, keep the faith, whatever. So, but they told me don't bring up anything about the Dr. King thing.
Hmm.
So that's what so then from then on, my whole preparations have always been thinking it through. I had a
Hmm.
real lovely, amazing interview with Marvin Gaye
Hmm.
because the last show that I did at Norfolk, Kenneth, was at the Norfolk Scope. I had the honor and unbelievable pleasure of bringing off the stage Teddy Pendergrass.
Okay.
And to this day, man, I remember saying, Teddy Pendergrass,
Yeah.
Teddy, close the door, baby, having all that kind
Yeah.
of fun. But so we chopped it up a little bit backstage. But my main interviews always made me realize how to guide the interview through, allow them to answer the question, and
Right.
do a little bit of research if I could. Do some
Hmm.
research.
Right. But I was exactly. But when sometimes circumstances present itself that you don't have time, so you got to think quick on your feet.
Right.
Which do you like the best? When you have to, shoot from the gun, from the hip, or preparation?
Well, I think that the NWA interview, and it's on tape, it's on Facebook on the HR. It's on my page, and people can see the interview. But I'm on my feed there because it's sort of a spontaneous thing. So I
Right.
think with the other interviews I had done before that interview, it was live out of nowhere. I didn't have time to plan. So that's when I realized I had some ability to think and move everybody in place and talk to Michelle A. Michelle A. sings with a very strong voice, but her speaking voice is very like almost like Mickey Mouse. So
Hmm.
she talks one way and sings another.
Hmm.
So, but about thinking on your feet, when you said that, Kenneth, it made me realize that was one of those interviews where I had to make it all happen.
Hmm.
And I was lucky that the NWA, if you see the interview, the way they looked at me and talked to me, the way we interacted, they respected me, I respected them. And I saw, and I had a flair for it. And it was lucky. God blessed me with not being nervous. I had a suit on, had a nice cut in my hair, and I did a really good interview, and I got it all captured on tape. But that's when I realized, like you said, shooting from the hip, a spontaneousness off the dome, off the top, that helped me a great deal when I did that NWA interview, particularly with Dr. Dre, who, as you know, went on to be a billionaire with Beats and, Eminem and 50 Cent and all those artists he produced. Did we freeze? All right.
Messing up or something. But like I said, he's back. Welcome back.
So nice to be back.
Yeah. Now,
sorry about that.
Before I forget, now, right now, you're in California, and you're on the Cloud Mix.
Yeah, Mixcloud does my radio shows, and I just created a new podcast called Can You Dig It? Thank you, Kenneth, for keeping me back on track. I'm doing a 70s podcast, but all my shows, my concept is classic soul music radio, and I'm on Mixcloud, and I have links on my Facebook page, and I have a link on the Black radio announcers page as well. But yeah, I'm on Mixcloud with those radio shows. And those shows I did with Chester B. Kenneth, the ones back in 2012, I made those tapes. So those old shows I did for Passion 1350, WPC, those shows were captured and they're on demand on Mixcloud as well.
Okay. And tell people how to get Mixcloud. Everybody don't know. How do you get Mixcloud?
It'll come right up. If you just put Mixcloud in the browser, type in Mixcloud, it'll take you right there. And you put in Calvin Shakespeare, it'll bring you right to my shows.
Okay. Podcast as well? Yeah.
Right, yeah. Right now, I've done 2 in the can, and I haven't dropped them yet. But I will have them there as well. And the name of the podcast is called Can You Dig It?
Yeah, that's can you dig it? Can you dig that? Yeah, okay.
So I'm rocking like that. That was the thing, man. Can you dig it?
And of course, that song, That Girl.
That's right.
Yeah. Right?
You got me, boy. Man, it's just great talking to you, man. I'm proud of what you're doing. I mean, that whole thing is that Phil and Glenda and Chester and Stone, some of the DJs, Calvin Cook, just the way we were able to just have a culture, and then to have it being honored. And where they're doing the thing at R.A. Tucker, Kenneth, that's the elementary school where I went at. And it's a library now, but I went to R.A. Tucker as an elementary student.
Okay.
So that's a great, yeah. I think we froze again, brother.
You go again now. You say you grew up in Berkeley?
Yeah, Berkeley, Compostela. I was
okay. What high school did you go to?
Diggs Park. They call it Diggstown now, but it's called Diggs Park. Right. Compostela Road, Kenneth. So yeah, I'm from that whole Berkeley, Compostela. I'm what they call a mellow fellow from Compostela, Kenneth.
Mellow fellow from Compostela. Okay. All right.
So, yeah. Booker T. Washington High School, like you had that run.
Yeah.
And
what year did you graduate Booker T High?
In the late 60s, man.
Oh,
That's all
okay.
I'm saying.
I graduated 74.
Well, I know you're younger than me, but yeah,
A
I
little
did
bit. Oh,
that.
wait, whoa. Wait a minute. Now, I ain't that much younger than you.
Wait a minute.
You
Hey,
know,
hey,
and I
hey,
look at, we both look great. So
there you
let's
go. Let's
keep it
take
at
it.
that.
Let's take it. But hey,
Huh?
Kenneth, I gotta tell you this though. When I
Yeah.
went to book, I gotta tell you this, Kenneth. When I went to Booker T, I used to write for the newspaper called the Clarion. All right, the
With
school
the
paper,
Clarion.
the
Right.
Clarion. But I created a column called Batman.
Really?
And Batman, nobody knew who Batman was.
Uh-huh.
And the column was written by one of my main buddies. And guess who Batman was, Kenneth?
Who was it?
Paul Riddick, Councilman Paul
Who?
Riddick.
Really? Really?
They still call him Batman to this day, Kenneth. They still call him Batman to this day.
He's something else, ain't he?
That's my boy.
He's
I have
something.
to.
He,
I did.
he's
Yeah.
something.
He's too much, ain't he? I had so much fun with him. I helped him with his campaign when he before he retired, and we did a
Yeah.
commercial with young rappers, and I was doing research on him,
Mm-hmm.
and I read he had threw a ham at somebody. Kenneth,
Yeah. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
threw a ham at
Yeah.
somebody.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna say nothing.
I know. I saw
He's
you.
just a good character, and that's all I got to
I
say.
love him. Paul
Yeah,
Rich.
he's something else already. Something. Yeah.
I know. I love him though. I love him, man.
Oh
We
yeah.
were together,
Yeah.
and you know,
I used to I mean, a musician. I played for a lot of funerals at his
I
funeral,
know.
and
Hmm.
so okay.
Well, I mean, and the cool thing about that, though, seriously, though, is that that's a family thing for all the
Uh-huh.
years
Uh-huh.
they've been there. At a time of need, they're there by you knowing that intimate part of it.
Right.
You know
Right.
how they care about people. So we're going to close out on that on a very good note of just a very strong situation to have in our family in the Black community.
Right.
Just want to say that right quick.
And I want to just say, we like you're not that older than us, but you were young when you started. We all grew up with you, and it's an honor to talk to you. It's an honor to meet you,
Thank you, Kenneth.
and you're an inspiration to everyone.
I appreciate
Like
that.
with Dick Clark with you, you say I want to do that, and yeah, I mean, it was guys like you that made me before I even started playing music. Used to have my own little pretend radio show in my bedroom growing up. Yeah, I did it. Now I don't care. I'm not ashamed of it either.
That's what I did.
Yeah. WRAP. That was the
Mhm.
station. That was it.
That was it. I
Yeah.
did
See.
Saturdays there. I was lucky enough that Mr. Cool, top guy there, and they let me do the weekends
Mm-hmm.
when WHIH turned to all gospel, and so I had an association with WRAP
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We all y'all know each other
Yeah, we
anyway.
all do. Yeah,
Like I said, I'm just I'm in a candy store, and I'm blessed to just meet you all. And I can get on the phone and say, I talked to Calvin Shakespeare.
chop it up, baby.
I have no shame. I'm sorry. I don't, and I don't have time for it. You hear? I
I
don't have
got you.
time for it. See,
Make
now
that
Phil
time
Nelson,
for it.
he's a smooth operator. He's smooth. Phil Nelson is just, I told him last
I
week
love
on the
Phil.
show. He's smooth, isn't he? He
He
just,
is smooth.
yeah, I wish I could be that smooth. I used to be
He's
that
cool
smooth.
with it. He reached out to me, because they were putting this thing together. He saw my resume. He knew about me. I knew about him. I did some research on you and saw that you've been there too. So I said, it's cool that we try to lock it all in, man, and give each other flowers while we're here, and tell some of the difficult stuff, and then some of the fun stuff. I was
Mm-hmm,
able to be lucky enough that I did a deal with
mm-hmm.
Gene Loving and Dick Lamb. They were friends of mine, and
Right.
we were raw heirs
Mm-hmm.
to Tyson Hall, Kenneth. Raw
Okay.
heirs. So
Didn't know
they
that.
did and that was kind of cool that. Uh, And I remember going to having lunch with Dick Lamb,
Yeah.
and everybody knew Dick Lamb, right? They didn't really know me, but the waiters, the brothers, I can't. The brothers said that's Calvin Shakespeare with Dick Lamb. Like, so then Dick Lamb, he was really really cool. he I was on his show, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he had a great show. He had a great morning show.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
good for him and
remember.
I had fun. But yeah, so that's one of the things I want to share with you,
Right.
branching out, working with Gene Loving and
Mm-hmm.
Dick Glam and doing some things together in Virginia Beach, a place called Rogues Gallery. And
Right.
hey Kenneth, I cannot go without bringing up Bob Fields. Come
Oh
on
yeah.
now.
Yeah, Bob Fields.
Come
Oh
on
yeah.
now.
Oh, I haven't heard that
Hey,
name in.
Bob,
Woo. Okay. 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 Okay.
Bob Fields. I used to
Yeah.
go to well, Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker. I would run into him when I come home. I run into him at Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to, he knew of me because he was a kid in Youngs Park when I was doing the Calvin Shakespeare thing. So it's kind of
Right.
an honor to talk to Sweet Pea. And he
Mm-hmm.
knew me, and I started on HBO and pound for pound, the greatest, for
Right.
his work
Right.
in boxing. So
Oh yeah.
Norfolk people, yeah. Oh, hey man, Kenneth, I gotta tell you this, man, and I need you to pray for me on this one.
Yes, sir.
So Pharrell is from
Mm-hmm.
the gardens there in Virginia Beach and Princess Anne. Pharrell is doing a movie about his life growing up in Virginia Beach
Right.
and at the Gardens complex. And the movie is based on the time period 1977. And that's when I was on the radio, TV,
Mm-hmm.
clowning out Shakespeare, Calvin Shakespeare. To get there,
Right. Yeah, I know.
so I'm telling you, but his movie is about that time period. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that some kind of way that when they do about what was going on, what station you listen
Mm-hmm.
to, if you
Mm-hmm.
watch television, it's possible it could pop up. So the idea of a rap superstar like Pharrell doing a
Right.
movie about growing up in Virginia, in the Norfolk area,
That's
Virginia
amazing.
Beach, Princess Anne Road in 1977.
That's amazing.
So
Who
yeah,
knows where this is
I'm just
going?
hoping that I
Right.
would like to be mentioned. I mean, when they do a time period piece, they normally look at who was on the radio, who was whatever.
Right.
That's
Right.
how it goes. So it's possible it could be mentioned. I just happen to have had that period where I
Mm-hmm.
did some kind of colorful things. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for
Oh,
Red,
we know. Hey, look, I'm speaking for the audience now. We know.
I had
We
a lot
know.
of fun. I had a lot
Okay.
of fun with this.
The interview is gone. I'm just saying the fan. We know. Oh, we
I
know.
know. We love
But
it. I'm glad you do, man. I get a lot of texts, man. I get a lot of responses. And so I know that I've been fortunate. And I'm working on something. I know that somebody you know very well, Peggy
who?
Britt.
Yes.
Peggy Britt and Jonathan, they used to be on my show called The Gig years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She would sing Roberta Flack, and Jonathan Webb would do the other part, and they would do all the big hits.
Uh-huh.
And so Peggy now, as you know, Queen of
Yes.
Gospel and all for. I
All
reached
right.
out to her to do an interview like I'm doing with you. So my
Mm-hmm.
next project is something with Peggy Britt. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
no, I know. I'm glad you brought that up. When is that? You kind of said it fast. When is that now?
I'm doing it. We're setting it up now. Her and I are going back and forth to work it all out.
Okay.
I reached out to her. She came back. Yeah, Calvin, I'd love to do it. And then we go so far back when she
Mm-hmm.
was so young, and they came to my show, and Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack, Jonathan Webb and Peggy Britt would perform those songs, the piano and
Mm-hmm.
everything, on my first TV show called The Gig. So me and
Okay.
Peggy Britt, we go way back.
Okay.
Doctor
Okay.
Dr. Peggy Britt.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Pastor Doctor.
Pastor, right?
Doctor Peggy.
Don't try saying it. So yeah,
Yeah.
let her know, man. Reach out to her.
Oh
Tell
yeah.
her
Her,
I was excited about it.
her son Boo and I have played together.
Oh, I
He's a
didn't know
drummer.
that. I didn't know
He's a
that.
drummer. Oh yeah. Excellent
Man.
drummer. And he and I played together several times. So he's helped me out when I've gone places and didn't have one. So yeah, didn't have a drummer. So yeah,
All right.
yeah. It's
Love
all
it.
right. Good. So,
Small world, boy.
but so before I let you go, any shout outs, anybody else? Because whatever you want to say, you got time to say it.
Well, Brian Courtney Wilson, one of my
Yeah,
favorite gospel speakers, and I know you love him too. I was
yes.
so lucky to meet him and help promote one of his CDs. And one of my radio shows, The Soul of Gospel, I
Mhm.
featured talking to Brian Courtney Wilson.
Okay.
So I want to
Okay.
let everybody know I love that gospel. My mom always told me to get involved with it. And so I have a couple of my shows, among my shows, and
Hmm.
one of them is called The Soul of Gospel.
And
So
when
I
is
want
that?
you to,
When is that?
that's on YouTube. It's on Mixcloud. It's among the
Okay.
shows I have for classic soul music radio.
Right.
Among those shows is two gospel shows, and
Hmm.
one features Brian Courtney Wilson, who
Hmm.
I happen to meet and promote with on one of his CDs. So it's on my show. So
Okay.
I want to end with Brian Courtney Wilson.
All right. Look at you. See there? That's all right. That's okay. That's okay. That's all
He's
right.
doing a great work, Kenneth. He's
I'll
doing a
get it.
great work.
I'll get there. I'll get there. 2030, but I'll get
Oh man,
I
what a
got
fun!
you.
What fun!
Well,
What
wait a minute.
fun.
I done made it to the mountain. I got you on. So, hey, there you
We
go.
having fun, Kenneth. I love what
Yes.
you're doing, man. I'm so proud of you, man. And to reach out to me, man. Let me share some moments with everybody. It just means the world, Kenneth. It really does, man.
Appreciate it. And we're here for you. We're voice
So
here. If you need us, let us know.
I
I'll
will.
be, going and checking in. I'll be checking in on you anyway.
Okay.
I
I'll do the
went
same for
to
you.
Miss Cloud last night, saw some
Okay.
stuff, and
Okay. Yeah,
I
you and I
like to
we're
know
going
what
back.
everybody's
Yeah,
doing.
I got your links too, and I'm
Yeah.
more than likely I'll be through VA in August. They're gonna do that
Oh,
big thing for all the DJs. So I'm planning on doing that. So hopefully I'll run into you and see you. But I
right.
do know one thing for sure. I come home at least every other year. Now that I'm down with you, I'll
Hmm.
make sure I reach out to you when I come to VA. I
Yes,
mean that,
sir.
Kenneth. I mean that,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams. Mr.
Yeah.
Williams, if you may,
Right.
if you
And
may,
you can get me Janet Jackson's phone number, right?
you know I
No,
will.
no, no, no. Well, it's like this. If I get her phone number, I'm telling you and everybody out there, don't look for me again.
Don't
You
look
will
for me,
not
no,
see me again. You will never
man.
hear
You
from me
know it,
again.
man. Hey,
Don't let this
don't
happen
look
to
for me.
me. Do not
Like what?
look for me again.
Don't look for me nowhere. I
Don't
done got
call
that
me.
connection.
I don't know you.
I
Don't
don't,
call me. You
I done
understand?
got, I done got that connection.
If I get
So,
near
I'll send you whatever I got, man.
Gladys Knight,
On
Gladys
right,
Knight, same thing.
I know it.
Okay?
Gladys too.
I
You
don't
know
care
we
how
love her.
old she is. She
Right. I
still
feel
will
the
do.
same way. I feel the
Oh,
same way about Gladys and
yes.
Patty. Gladys and
And
Patty.
Roberta Flack. Oh,
Ooh,
oh, oh.
the
Okay, I'm
classics.
through. Huh?
Son of a preacher, man. Man, I love Roberta, man. I tell you,
Yeah.
man, I really like what you're doing. I think the thing for me is to have come from Berkeley Campus Stellar and
Mm-hmm.
have an opportunity to work with these different kids and able to take them to the TV station. Nobody never stole nothing, Kenneth. Nobody had no fights. These are all young teenagers called the Get Down people. And I want to close with the beauty of all the projects, Portsmouth and Cavalier Manor, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a thing at the lighthouse, right?
Right,
And somebody
right.
told me, yeah, in Portsmouth. And so somebody told me that Missy Elliott's mama was trying to talk to me.
Oh,
Missy
oh,
Elliott, mama.
oh, oh.
But you
Okay.
know how I know? I don't know, Kenneth. I don't know. All I know is it was all colorful, all young, and they weren't even barely born, and then they young and they blew up the spot. Timberland, Missy Elliott, Pharrell,
Yeah.
they all from
I got
Norfolk, man. But
friends. We gonna find out. We gonna
you got to
find out.
find out. Did your mama try to talk to me?
You be the
Missy's gonna
third to
do it.
know.
Yeah,
You be
Missy's
the
gonna be in
third
that.
to know.
Yeah, Missy's gonna be in that movie though. She just signed up to play a part in that new Pharrell movie that they're
Right,
doing now. So she's gonna
right,
be in that film. Yeah.
right.
So I'm connecting the dots on that, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Connecting the dots.
Well, as long as he stays away from Disney, he'll be all right. I
I
don't
know,
know what
right?
Disney. I don't know what. I don't know.
I ain't going there.
I don't know. But anyway, my
All
man,
right.
appreciate
Okay.
you. We'll
Okay.
talk down the line. Hope to see you here when you get here. All right.
I'll definitely chop it up with you, Kenneth. That's for sure. Thanks for inviting me on, man. I had a pleasure with this interview. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you, Kenneth.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right,
You
brother.
take care. All right.